Testing, testing. We are live. Waiting to see if can as people come into the room. Let us know where you are coming from when you come in, what state you live in, and your branch of service. All right. One person in, let us know your state, branch of service, or just your state if you didn't serve. Okay. We got Pete De La Cruz, Hawaii, retired Navy. I want to ask you a question, Mr. Pete, if you don't mind. Mr. Pete, are you retired? Are you getting your VA disability also, if you don't mind me asking? Because once you, okay, now I know you know, just to make sure you do, that once you are at least 50% or higher with your VA compensation, you don't have to offset your retirement pay. You can get both. So just making sure you know that. How's it going down there in Hawaii? Okay. How long have you been retired, sir? Okay, since 2008. All right. Well, let y'all know a few people in here. I'm gonna let a few more people come in. Hopefully, if we can get at least 4 or 5, we got 3 so far. We can start talking. What we're going to be talking about today is VA experts. Is there any such thing as a VA expert? Because many times people they're online telling us how fast and easy and simple these claims are. There's no such thing as fast, simple, or easy when it comes to the VA. That does not mean that sometimes the process moves faster, but nobody should be, how can I say, nobody should be under the notion that there's a simple formula to completing any type of VA claim. Anything might go down. Now, since you here, Mr. Dela Cruz, we're gonna deal with who's here with us right now. Now, did you go? I don't know if you know. I often tell people this. It depends on the state that you went in from. Usually, there's certain benefits that you can get from that state. Whatever state that's your home of record on your DD 214, and this often applies to your dependents if you have any. Okay, for example, I'm from the state of Texas. I went in from the state of Texas. It was my home of record and it was my state of entry. So when I come back home, we have a such thing called the Hazelwood Act. All right. This is an educational program provided by the state of Texas. So what does it do? It gives the veterans that are honorably discharged and of course meet the other requirements of going in from the state of Texas, and Texas is their home of record. It gives them 150 credit hours with the school credits for any state institution. Okay. Now, the reason I'm saying this to you is because not only does it apply to the veteran, it also applies to their dependents. And the reason I'm saying is because they may have a similar program in the state that you can't went in from. Okay. Now, I like I say, I'm the H-Town vet. I served during Desert Storm, and my okay, we got okay. You live in Hawaii, okay, Mr. Dela Cruz. Okay, that's good. Now, what you should do if you have children is find out if they can go to school there, even though you may not live there. That because my daughter, she goes to school, and not only does she get the Hazelwood Act for the school where she don't have to pay for it, they also send her the Chapter 35 educational benefits for veterans that are 100% permanent total or TDIU, which is another form of 100% permanent and total. Okay, you're paid at the 100% rate, even though you may not be 100%. Now, if you got any questions of me, please ask, because I can tell you, what some of my like I say, when we're dealing with these VA claims, a lot of times people think that it's mystery. No, it's not. The simple part of it is you got to have the evidence. If there's no evidence, and the evidence has to be backed up by VA law. So if it's not backed up by VA law, no matter what anybody promises you, you can't get the disability claim approved without evidence. And the evidence had to be related to things that the VA provide benefits for. Now, Mr. Dela Cruz, do you have any questions of me or anybody that's in the stream right now? I know I'm coming on a little late, but I'm just testing out my I'm testing out the live stream. This is my second time live streaming. Well, let me tell you a few things since you and Ms. Dela Cruz, you from Texas. Okay, you say you don't have any questions. Well, let me just break down some information. We have video in our library, the 20 benefits that for the 20 Texas benefits for veterans and their dependents in Texas. Okay? So if you ever decide to come back here, check that video out. I'll tell you a few of them. One, if you're 100, once you're 100%, you don't have to pay no property tax. Now, if you are, let's say, less than 100%, between 10 and 90%, they give you a reduction on your property tax. Given the prices of homes right now, this is a big thing. Now, Texas would have to be your home of record. Okay. Other things that they offer: free driver's license, uh, a free registration on one of your vehicles. Now, Mr. Dela Cruz, can you inform us, let us know, are there any benefits they offer for veterans in Hawaii similar to that when it comes to your automobile, property tax exemptions that you're aware of? Let us know if you do. Now, another thing, okay, property tax discounts on registration. Okay. Do they offer anything when it comes to education that you know of? Okay, check into that. See if they offer anything, because sometimes even though it may not be your home state home or record, they might still offer things to you. Okay. Now, are you paid at the 100% rate yet? Okay. Only one child is done with college. Okay, okay, that's good. Because there is an age requirement in Texas think it's about 25 or something. Okay, before they turn 26, they have to been to use the benefit. Now, when it also comes to a spouse, if you have a spouse, that's the same thing. That they can use the benefit also. How so? When it comes to the Hazelwood Act, if you are a disabled veteran paid at the 100% rate, that your child gets their own 150 credit hours. All right. So that's how it works. It's three parts to the program, as we stated in the last live stream. First part is 150 credit hours for the veteran. You don't have to be disabled at all. And you can share that if you have a dependent child, you can share it with them. I don't know about spouses. Trying to think. I know you can share with your children. It's called the legacy program. That's the second one. The third one is each one of your dependents get their own 150 credit hours, and that includes a spouse if you have one. Now, Mr. Dela Cruz, do you live close to a base down there on the island that you're on in Hawaii? Let us know that. Okay, okay. Yes, okay. One day I plan to visit Hawaii, come down there. Now I want to tell you a few things. I don't know what your rating is right now, but basically the main thing that I'm trying to get out here for those that are going to be watching, all over social media, there are people claiming to be so-called experts, and they saying they got the knowledge and the secret sauce. There are no secrets when it comes to VA compensation. Okay, there's only VA law. So there's three parts to it, Mr. Dela Cruz, and whoever's listening right now. The three parts to VA disability. One is getting your disability. In order to get your disability, you need these things, and I know you may know this already. But if you're ever looking for new service connection, the first thing you need is a diagnosis. Okay, you have diagnosis, whether it be PTSD, uh, back problems, but it's going to be a certain. They don't just give it for general back problems. It has to be one of the vertebrae, third, second, or whatever. Migraines, TBI. Okay, so first you have to have a issue that the VA that's found that's diagnosed. This could be diagnosed by an outside doctor, or it also could be diagnosed by what? By a doctor at the VA. All right. And you go down to the VA if they have a VA in your area, and it's called the what? It's called a problems list. I want all of you to remember this, okay? Down in medical records or wherever they keep the medical records, whatever they call it, it's called a problems list. And what is this list? This is a list of all the things that you're diagnosed with at the VA. Okay? Why is this important? Some of those things may be service connected, some of them may not be. Some of them might be related to your service, so you might want to apply for the things. Let's say, for example, let's use PTSD as an example again. You're diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder, but you haven't filed a claim with the VA regional office to get disability for it. So the first thing you have to do is get diagnosed. Once you have that problems list, that's evidence. Hey, I'm diagnosed with it. So what's the next step? After you get diagnosed, you have to have a connection between that diagnosis, right? Your condition and your military service. Now, if you serve during war, a lot of people don't realize that if you serve during combat operations, whether you were straight in combat operations or you were in a combat zone, okay, you are considered, well, if you're a combat veteran, you considered a reliable historian. Let me be clear. I know if you're a combat veteran, myself, I'm a combat veteran, but you are considered a reliable historian. So you can write a letter yourself. All right. So you're trying to, so the first thing, diagnosis, second thing, you're trying to make a connection between the diagnosis and your military service. That's called a nexus. Once you accomplish and you're able to get a nexus, you can get this in several ways. All right. You can get this through an outside doctor, or you can also get a nexus. How? Through the VA. Now, a lot of time doctors don't want to give nexus letters, but you need to be able to do what? You need to be able to make sure you know what you're asking your doctor for. You need to know what the requirement of a nexus letter is. And in addition to that, you can get that doctor to do what? He or she can also give you a DBQ on examination. All right. Just like the VA sending you the VA compensation examinations, they can send you the one also. So once you got the diagnosis, the nexus, the last thing they have to deal with is the severity level. All right. Once you're dealing with the severity level, once you're dealing with the severity level, that's what determines what percentage you get and how much money you get. All right. The purpose of this is to inform you and let you know that, listen, you're not getting any disability. The severity level is based on what a doctor says, based on the symptoms for that illness. That's the evidence. That's the evidence that you need to fight a claim. So once you're trying to get your benefits, we talked about through the diagnosis, after you get the diagnosis, the nexus, and the last part of getting your benefits is the severity level. You could have a severity level of 0%. That doesn't mean you're not service connected. You are service connected, but it's not severe enough to affect your ability to work or to interact in the social world among people. All right. These things have to have effects like that. So that's the first part, getting your benefits. The next thing is you need to be informed what your benefits are, because we got to realize there are time limits on everything. All right. When it comes to these benefits, the next thing you need to understand, once you get your benefits, you need to know the time limits on, you need to know what they are so you can know the time limits. So, like the educational benefits for Chapter 35, you have only a certain time period. All right. It used to be for SDVI life insurance, there was a 2-year time period. They don't offer it. I'm talking about 100% benefits right now. They don't offer it anymore. So now they have VA life and there's no time limits. But when it comes to your children in particular, not a spouse, the only thing that affects a spouse uh, benefit is what? Divorce. The night that you divorce them, 12 midnight, that night, they benefits stop. Okay. We're going to talk a little bit more about that if you divorce, because I just put out a video about divorce. Nobody wants to get a divorce, but we need to be aware of what's going on. Okay. Now, the last part of it, and this is what I want to talk to y'all about. This is why you got to be real careful of VA experts, because you can get a false sense of security. There's no such thing as a VA expert. You are the VA expert because nobody understands your situation or condition better than you. All right. So you can't, whatever you fight for or sign your name to, you're going to be responsible for it. Not the VA representative, not your service organization, whether it be the American Legion or whatever. If there are certain papers that you need to get in by a certain time, you can't depend even on a lawyer. What if it sits on a lawyer desk and they don't turn it in time? It ain't going to affect them. It's going to affect you. So you need to make sure that you do your due diligence and you submit that paperwork, anything that has time limits on it. Now, the last thing, after you get your benefits, you know what your benefits are. You should watch my videos. I have several videos on veteran benefits and all the different types at the H-Town vet. What should you do next? The next thing that you need to do, and this is the most important, and no veteran can get around this here, you need to protect your benefits. So it's not easy to get them and it's not easy to keep them. So how do we do this here? What you need to do is already be prepared for the VA to call you back in for an evaluation. So have your paperwork together and continue to get treatment. Yeah, that's a myth that people say you don't have to go to the VA no more. On one of my award letters, it said that I got my rating because I was continually getting treatment at the VA. Okay, so that's a myth. People telling you you don't have to go to the hospital no more. They may not say nothing to you, but they may come back and evaluate you. See, the VA can evaluate you for a good reason, bad reason, no reason at all. All right. You say, what you mean a bad reason? Well, the Office of Office of Inspector General, they did about 3 or 4 years ago a audit of the VA regional office, and they found out that they were giving people that had a 100% permanent total rating reevaluations, and they wasn't supposed to. Now, the only time you can open yourself up to reevaluations if what happened? If you open up new claims. Now, there's sometimes that you need to open up new claims, given the PAC Act, given I think it's 1 or 2 veterans who've been reduced since they signed up for the PAC Act, from what I've seen. But that might be worth the risk. If you got something that they're going to give a big payout on, if you've been stationed, let me see where you said your branch of service, you was Navy. You need to know what you were exposed to on those ships, any chemicals, and you need to keep track of that. So even though you may have your benefits, you still want to keep track of those things. Okay. You need to learn the rules. Now this is key. Please listen to me, people. All right. I got 3 people in here, but listen to me. Learn the rules. If you learn the rules, the VA can't break them. Because every year they're looking for a way to do what? To change the laws. But you stay on your grind, so you got to know what the laws are. So if they ever say we're calling you in for a reevaluation on your benefits, all right, and they shouldn't do that if you don't do a couple of things. If you had paid at the 100%, if you're less than 100%, most people work. It's no big deal. They usually calling you in for reevaluations once you're paid at the 100% rate because so many benefits are attached to it. So if you open up a new claim that puts you at risk, guess what else could get you? If you go over to Voc Rehab, all right? If you go over to Voc Rehab and you apply for Voc Rehab, now if they train you and you get a job through Voc Rehab, Voc Rehab can send that information. I think it's occupational readiness now they call it now, so something similar to that. You know that they can send that over to the VA regional office. It was a lady, a female veteran who she was 100% paid at the 100% rate, but she went to nursing school and they sent that information over to the VA and they reduced her back down to 90%. I'm not saying that's going to happen in all cases, but understand why you're getting disability. You are getting disability because of your lack of ability to work. The more your disability affects your ability to work, the more disability you get. In other words, you know how the saying was, more money, more problems. Well, with the VA is more problems, more money. Okay. So you got to be careful when you're going into these programs that the VA, sometimes they'll just randomly do it, but you got to back it up by VA law. And let me tell you something else that people don't do properly. You got to tell the VA what you want. Okay. If you want 100% permanent and total, let's say you 30%, and you looked at the evidence and you line that evidence up with the law. Let's use PTSD is a simpler one I use all the time. So let's say your symptoms show at the 100% level. What you do, you list those symptoms at 100% level. If you got TBI and TBI has a rating schedule, find out the rating schedule for TBI. And if you have medical evidence that say you have those symptoms at the 100% level, the VA is supposed to approve it. They may not approve it, but it's your job to make sure they follow law. You wait till they deny you. That's when you submit the other evidence. So you get the evidence and you pull it out. Once you get the CMP exam, go get a copy of it. And you take all that information and you wait to see what the VA does. And you see if the doctor said anything in there that was in your favor. And you wait till they make the decision. And if it doesn't line up with what the doctor said, you sit in that I have new and material evidence that either the VA overlooked what was going on or they were in error. And this is very important. Now, so remember, so the main things is getting your benefits, knowing what they are, and protecting your benefits. One thing you don't need to do, and it's hard for us not to do it, stop telling people about what you get, because a lot of people civilian people and even other veterans can undermine or hate on you. Okay. And they actually changed the law here in Texas where we used to, with our just with our disabled veteran tags, we could park in handicap spots. Now we got to put the disabled placard in there because somebody went and pushed the law all the way up to the state court so they could take away benefits. Make it where we have to put the placard, the license plate. This happened back in 2021, I believe. Okay, so we're trying to protect these benefits. They got laws that they're changing right now. When it comes, they got changes. I think they're going to reduce sleep apnea. You can only get a certain percentage. Won't be 50% no more. Either that or migraines. And they're talking about taking a 0% rating away from PTSD. Okay. Now, when it comes to if you want to know more about the VA re-examining, watch our video, Unwarranted Reexaminations. All right. The most effective tool in dealing with the VA is problem solving using VA law. You want to find out whatever you're doing, make sure it's backed up by VA law. If they ever come at you and trying to take your benefits, you don't want to panic. You want to already have stuff in place, meaning every once in a while, go get your medical records from the doctor. They expect you to get comfortable and relaxed. You need to treat the VA like a job. You're not there to be friends with the doctor. You're not trying to be enemies. You're there to seek treatment. Never talk to them about money. You there to get help. They ask you what you want. You want your life back. You trying to get whole. You trying to get help. Okay. And this is very important because if sometimes they'll do random evaluations. So you want to be prepared for that. All right. This is really whoever's coming in right now in the chat, please put your branch of service your branch of service and the state you coming from. All right. And this is really important here. I really want to say this because a lot of people don't know. There's no one size fits all when it comes to VA claims. This is a big problem that a lot of veterans have because when I first was trying to get my benefits, I didn't know. So I went and talked to other veterans. One would tell me this worked for them. The other would tell me this worked for them. So I left more confused than I was when I got there. But that's not bad because I was getting informed. because everybody's situation is different. There's no one size fits all. Just because they got some or that they were denied doesn't mean it's going to work for you because there's different variables. There you go. What we got here? USMC, Marine Corps, Houston, Texas. This I was born and raised in Houston, Texas, Mr. David. Born and raised, H-Town vet, Fifth Ward, Houston, Texas. All right. All right. Here we go. Now, what we're really talking about is not being Mr. David. We're talking about not being hoodwinked by people that are what? People that call themselves experts and how we're getting information from different people. We get so much information from people, it becomes confusing. But you need to vet whatever information you get. The information that I'm telling you, go look it up. Okay, we got it. Me too, Galena Park, man. You right by my people back in the late 1800s living in Galena Park in that area, right on the other side, over there by what is that, Anheuser Busch? Yeah, we got property over there. Hmm. Yes, indeed. So this is really important to understand that I forgot my point that that there's no one size fits all. What works for you may not work for the other person, and a lot of times, like I was telling Mr. Our brother here, Mr. Dela Cruz, that you got to watch who you talk to. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I know, but we got to be on top of it. Yeah, my people from now. Now, if oh, okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, okay, man. I didn't know. I thought I said, did I say something about somebody dying? I don't know what I said there. Okay. All right, I got you. I got you there, Mr. Dave. Mr. So here's the thing that whenever somebody's giving you information, it's good to absorb the information, but you don't have to make decisions based on what they tell you. Galena Park, man. I passed by Galena Park. My cousin used to have a house over in Galena Park. Now, I want to ask you, Mr. David. I was talking to Mr. Pete, since we all Texans, okay? Do you know about the benefits that they have in Texas? I have a video. The H-Town Vet has a video where it talks about the 20 benefits for being a Texas veteran and their dependents, the Hazelwood Act. And then once you're 100%, each one of your dependents get their own 150 credit hours under the Hazelwood Act to go to school for free. And the VA offers the Chapter 35 educational benefits. I got a video on the Chapter 35 benefits, the benefits for here in Texas. Now, I believe Texas. Do y'all know other states? Can you name other states that have good benefits? Now, the top ones they usually say Texas, California, Florida, and I want to say Pennsylvania. So let's see what Mr. David talking about here. He said, I saw your video. I need to get my license plate and property tax reduction. I am 60%. Yes. Oh, now in addition to this here, yeah, if you went in from the state of Illinois, I knew one veteran, he went in from the state of Illinois, and even though he wasn't back in Illinois, he went up there for his daughter to go to school. So you can find out if your children were still qualified, even though you're not living in the state. Now, when it comes to that benefit you just talked about, now you being a 60%, you can get that property tax reduction. You need to take your award letter up there. All right. The license plate, award letter. Now you may need your DD 214. I would take, just to be safe, have both of them, because to qualify for many of the state benefits, you need to make sure they know you have a honorable discharge. Now, other things you qualify for at a 60% rating. At 50%, you need to get the license plate because you can ride all these tollways in the Houston area for free. I don't know if you knew that. You can ride almost you can go all the tollways in the Houston area for free with them DV tags. Every vehicle you have, once you get your disabled veteran tags, you can ride for free. You don't have to pay anything, but you got to go through the easy tag section. And even if they give you the easy tag thing, you don't have to even pay for that. Man, they got me one time for like, whew, I think $100, about $50, man. I didn't have a disabled veteran tags, and one time they didn't put them in the system. So you need to get on that, man. And every vehicle you have, and you need to check in Hawaii. You need to find out and talk to other veterans, Mr. Dela Cruz. You need to find out what they offer there. Start collaborating, and every time you walk into somewhere, hey, do y'all do this discounts for veterans or retirees, military retirees? And because you're in the area, they might do it. Okay, so and guess what? I'm gonna tell you something about that tollway travel. That goes for all over Texas. Now, when you go down to Dallas, and I think in Austin, they say they might charge you for certain little fees for that. But that's why you just had the little what do you call that thing? You had a little easy tag up there, and they might charge for that. But they never charged me. I went on every tollway they had, and guess what? It's also covered in I think Oklahoma, Kansas. It's about 3 other states you can use it in. I'm gonna put a video out on that later. But you need to do your due diligence. You need to have that as soon as possible because registration on one of your vehicles is free. I mean $3, I think it is, and the rest of them you got to pay for. All right, so you need to take care of that, and then you can get your hunting and fishing license because get your hunting and fishing license because you're at 60%. And all you got to do is go to academy or somewhere like that, show your award letter, you get the full combo pack. Okay, and that's the same thing. You could check, Mr. Dela Cruz, when you go over there. You need to check what type of events, what type of things that they offer discounts for veterans, and this is also for hotel stays and different things. Okay, now let me make sure at 60% you get the 60% is you get also you get a free driver's license. Your driver's license is free in the state of Texas. And you can get a veterans designation also. Okay. So now this is true. Florida has some of the similar things. And if you conceal carry, you get a reduction on the cost to renew your concealed carry or when you initially apply for it also. See, there are a lot of benefits that are come in handy because right now, and that's why I want y'all, we want to do everything we can to get you at 100%. Okay, you 60%, Mr. David. Think about this here. Let's use him as an example. He's 60%. If he got a 60% rating for and look at our video, TDIU, look at it and it'll show you how it works. If you have one condition that's rated 60%, you can file for individual unemployability. And what they'll do, they'll pay you at 100%. You'll still be 60%, but that's cool. Two types of individual unemployability. It's IU and TDIU. Watch our video, the 4 types of 100%, which include what? The first type is a temporary 100%. A lot of people don't know that. A temporary 100% you get for something like prostate cancer or any conditions. Most of the time, these are presumptive conditions. Like for Vietnam veterans, it's presumptive that if they have prostate cancer, lung cancer, it's presumptive that it's related to Agent Orange or their service in Vietnam. Here's the issue, though. They're paid at the 100% rate, but as soon as they get the prostate surgery and they remove their prostate, they usually reduce them down. See, this is the key to it. Because it's a temporary rating, you may have for a certain time period. Oh, we got big dog in the Philippines. I want to go to the Philippines, big dog. Are you gonna host me? Are you gonna you look at him? There you go, right there. Also, TDIU combined with one disability at 40%. Hello from the Philippines. What branch of service, big dog? What branch of service? Now, it's a little delay on the chat. Now, Big Dog, he one of my USMC, Marine Corps. I forget how y'all say it. Hoorah! I forget how y'all say it, man. Now, he up there living it up. Now, here's the thing I want to tell y'all. I mentioned this in the last live stream. Once you get 100% scheduler, meaning you're paid at 100%, and you have other conditions that add up to 60 above that, you can get SMC. Okay. Now, if you have PTSD, and sometimes it causes erectile dysfunction, you can get SMC for that. That's extra $100. But if you do the one, let's say you had PTSD for 100%, all right, and then you had exhaustion. Okay. So now with Big Dog, I'm gonna finish this statement, then I'm gonna comment on what you said, Big Dog. Now, I watched I saw some of your images. Okay, so if you trying to remember what I'm saying, okay, because he just said he 100%. So let's say you that you paid at 100%. Like you said, I was 70, paid at 100 for just IU. But Big Dog has TDIU. I have a video. Watch that video on TDIU if you haven't. Okay, I'm sure you probably have. If you have 100% TDIU, what happens is they say supposedly you can't work. It's a permanent rating. It's just like having 100% scheduler. The only difference is they say that you're unemployable, not able to work. Here's the thing. They say the VA is very contradictory because they say you can work under certain circumstances. What are those circumstances? If you are if you are in a sheltered work environment, like working for family members, or you have an employer that makes special accommodations for you to work, or you're working under the poverty level. And the main thing and they look at now, they used to make you fill out that employment form. I don't know if they still do that. Do they still make you fill out to say whether you work or not anymore, Mr. Big Dog? Or do they just check that? They say now they just check your taxes. Now, here we go. Let's see what he Mr. David was saying. I'm able to substitute teach. I hear to get 100% unemployed. You can't even volunteer. I have 50% for OSTD and 10% of another. Tell me what OSTD is there, Mr. David. Now, they say you can't, it's random. It depends on who. It depends. I got that. Okay, Mr. Big Dog, I like that. They check your taxes now. See, that's why we need to communicate with each other because our ratings are different. So he would know. So now they check your taxes. So now when it come to volunteer work, there was a guy, Mr. David. He was just volunteering. He wasn't even working. Because the VA found out he was volunteering, they say even though he wasn't getting paid, that was considered work. Here's the thing. You ain't got to go in there and volunteer that information. We volunteer when we help watch our children and grandchildren. Okay? So this is why especially it's definitely important. Don't do a whole bunch of talking. I know it's hard for us not to do it because many of us have been in the military. We like to socialize with people. Be careful who you talk to. Listen to them first, because some people, people can turn you in. Did you know that people can ask the VA pay people to turn you in? Now let's see what Mr. Davis saying here. Now, okay, other specified trauma disorder. Now, I'm assuming, Mr. David, that that's a mental health rating. Okay, I was told I don't want PTSD because some of the soldiers PTSD, they were way worse than me. Hogwash, way worse than you. Once you get your rating, whether it's otherwise not specified, that's what I had forgot about that. So you got it, other mental disorder, it don't matter. Whether you got PTSD, depression, whether it's in is stateside, you get it on or off base, or you get it in a war zone, whether you were actually in combat or in a combat area. It don't matter. It pays the same. So all that, who's most severe and who more of a soldier. Here, let me tell you something. I had some crazy stuff happen to me while I was off duty. And I'm a combat soldier. You can get traumatized from anything that happens. My cousin was in a car wreck. Okay. My cousin was actually in a car wreck. He was in Vietnam. Now, when he came back, he self-medicated, He was using a little something, right? And him and the dude was in a car, and both of them was what do you call that? They was under the influence of some type of narcotic. The guy was driving, and they was coming from Fort Hood back here to Houston. I forget if they was coming or going back. I forget. And because I was a baby at the time. It's my big cousin, who I love and look up to. He passed a few years back. And because he was in that car wreck, and they tested him, the guy passed. My cousin lived. They gave my cousin couldn't get any benefits because he got a dishonorable discharge. Well, he was able to get that upgraded. See, if you get out the military, you got about 2 years, you need to be acting right, and you need to file for an increase. I mean, you need to file to upgrade your status. And they say they're doing it right now. They say that whoever the person over the VA, they saying they're trying to see people as far as helping them with other than honorable discharges. If you have an honorable discharge, you set. General under honorable conditions, that's good too. You can get that upgraded, but you can get most of the benefits of that. Bad conduct discharges and dishonorable discharges, that's when you run into problems. Now let me see what they're talking about here. That's what he right. Keep things to yourself, because you never know who you're talking to. A person could have the same benefits that you have, and they hate on you. So what should you do? You got to vet people. It's all right to find out if a person's shady. Now you know you don't have to deal with them no more. But I had to get away from people that weren't constructive, because by me helping other veterans, we had people that was resentful of me for helping veterans. So they tried to attack me because I'm trying to help other veterans. Now I helped them with their benefits. They were cool, but they didn't want to see me help nobody else. Some people want to be the center of attention. You understand? You keep things to yourself. And telling your neighbors, I don't run out and tell them I don't pay property tax. Why would I go do that? That's just going to bring resentment. Now you say, yes, sir, I'm a combat veteran, but I deal with it without getting to the point that others get to. Now, you don't compare yourself to other people, because your situation is your struggle. You can't measure it. You measure it based on what the VA doing. So when you go in there, talk to that doctor, don't say nothing about your condition or getting worse than nobody else. What you do, you get help for you. Okay? Because everybody was affected different. My homeboy, who grew up with me in Fifth Ward, it was crazy. We lived 3 blocks from each other, but we was in the same platoons, same tank platoon, doing Desert Storm. Now we both were affected by our combat, uh, what happened to us while we was over there. But he was affected in a different way than me. We literally talking to him, I literally he don't remember some of the stuff we talked about. We were talking one time and stuff just started boom booming all around us. He don't remember that conversation. And he told me some things that happened I had forgot about. He literally don't remember. We were talking about back home and we was in the middle of a desert and everything went crazy. Now we had other incidents that he did remember, but he came back and it affected him different ways. Some people started drinking. Some people became violent. Some people just withdraw. But that doesn't mean just because you withdraw, that don't mean that your condition's not as bad as anybody else that acts out overtly. It's how it's affecting you now, how it's affecting you being able to work, how it's affecting how frustrated you get. So never downplay the symptoms. We with you and we support you. Now, Big Dog said all mental health gets paid the same. Now here we go. And guess what? They uh for the most part, they have the same rating schedule. Now understand this. They have two what they call DBQs, disability benefits questionnaires. And this is what the doctors fill out when you're in a CMP exam. And all of them say the same thing, whether you got PTSD, depression, almost all of them have the same things. Now they have one for PTSD and one for other mental health disorders, like you were saying. I just forgot the acronym. Sorry about that. And guess what? You get paid the same thing. Let me say the power of mental health ratings. You skip ratings. There's a 0% unless they changed it already with the new regulation. There's a 0% rating, 10% rating. It skipped 20, 30% rating, 50% rating, 70% rating, and nowhere to go from 70 but to 100. Okay. So this is what's important that when you filing, once you get symptoms past the 70%, they got to give you 100% for mental health ratings. The general ratings of mental health conditions. Look that up, and it's gonna have a list, and it's gonna start out. And well, if you look at my videos, PTSD ratings, I break all of that down. Now let's see. I'm not going to live in fear of someone taking my benefits. There you go. If I have to be afraid, I don't want it. Well, you don't have to be afraid. What you have to do is be informed and prepared. Okay. Nobody's just going to take your benefits. It's like anything else in your life. You have to be prepared. You always hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. That's all it is. Nah, you're not afraid because see, you want to live your life. You want to handle your business. All you need to do is have a plan. So let me say, for example, whenever I filed a claim, what I would do is this. Okay. I would file that claim. Okay. I would file that claim. While I'm waiting on a decision, guess what I'm doing? I'm working on my appeal. I filed a claim. I put the information they need for my condition. Once they have a doctor evaluate me, I try to get that evaluation as fast as possible. You can request it now online. And I take that CMP exam because you can get a copy of it. And then I start going over it. Anything that the doctor, then I measure it with the rating mental health rating schedule, or for your back, what each one of them got a mental a rating schedule. Okay. And then I would have that information, but I'd wait for them to make their decision. Once they made their decision, if it wasn't backed up or they didn't properly do it, so this is what you do. You tell them you didn't consider the whole, this is part of the law. They didn't consider the whole medical record. Okay. If a doctor, one doctor, you see, let's say you saw over your lifetime, you saw 5 to 10 doctors, and all of them say your condition is bad, but you get one VA doctor to say that it's not bad. Well, they can't make the decision based on one doctor. Once you've had your condition for at least 5 years, they have to give you at least 2 examinations. And even before 5 years, they call the 5-year rule. Even before 5 years, they gotta consider the whole medical record. They can't, because your condition that day may not been as bad as it is on your usual day. So one doctor that see you one day, who gonna know you better? A doctor to see you all the time. That's why it's good to get your doctor, especially, or have them send you to a specialist and see that specialist for the condition that you're claiming from the VA. See them for a little while. See them for several visits. So when you take it to the VA don't want to consider it now for the most part. They want to take you to the exam. What you need another exam? Because the law says they supposed to consider your independent evaluation just like an examination that the VA send you to. Now, never be scared of the VA. Ask them for what I want. I want this, I want this, I want this. And you know what they did? When I got my war letter, they say, you got this is a full grant of what you asked for. Before, I used to be afraid to ask for stuff because I thought you couldn't ask what they say. What you asking for that for? No. Matter of fact, whenever you get a denial or you get a lower rating that you expect to get, the VA tells you right there. You know what they say to you? To get a higher rating, you need these symptoms, and these symptoms. They let you know. By law, they have to. Now let's see what Big Dog talking about. I'm tired of dealing with the VSO in my town. I only got 40% from 2000, okay, 1 to 2018. Then in 2018, I went from 40 to 90%. And 2003, 2023, started doing my own claims and got 100% P&T on my own in January 2024. Congratulations, brother. Congratulations. Now, here's the thing. That's why I say you are the expert. This is the problem that we have, that we think everybody else is going to save us. If somebody help you get your benefits. I had a man, he's retired now, work for the American Legion. He helped me. He was good. But once I started learning, he helped me get a certain rating, right? He helped me 30%, something like that. But I started getting informed and learning how to be my own advocate. So I'm the one that started saying, you know what? I got to ask them for what I want. So it's your job to become the expert. You are the expert. I'm the expert because nobody knows your condition like you know it. How somebody know what you going through better than you? You're the one feeling the pain. You the one that experienced the trauma. Okay. So when it comes to the VSOs, there are certain rules. I have videos, you need to watch them. I talk about them when it comes to representatives. When we talk about VSO, people that represent you on your disability claim, they got to be good at what they do, experienced. You need to be able to work good with them. All right. And they all, meaning they have to be able to inform you of what's going on. No matter how good what they're doing, if y'all not communicating good, it don't matter. So you got to have an effective person. But if there's a personality clash, you go to somebody else or you learn how to do certain things on your own. And there's certain things you may need help. Now let's talk about this lawyer situation. Okay, now when you're dealing with some things, lawyers can't really help you unless you've been denied once, twice, especially for like housebound and things like that. Okay, let's see what he's saying here. Your personal doctor will work every time. Yes, you know why? If that doctor don't put it on there like you need it to be on there, right? You don't have to turn it in. You just get a copy of it. Okay, those are your medical records. And let me tell you what you shouldn't do. Big dog, you brought up a big thing, a good thing. I'm gonna tell you what you shouldn't do. Don't release all your personal medical records to the VA. You only release to them the things that support your claim, because you might send something in there that's a contradiction. One doctor might say one thing on the outside, another doctor on the outside may say a different thing, and the VA say we don't have conclusive evidence, so they're going to put your case. They got to until they get further information. All right. If they can't straight out deny your claim, they gonna say they can't come up with a decision. I forget the terminology for it. So you need to make sure that that's clear, that there's a connection between your condition and VA law, that your evidence and the doctor need to be clear on what it is. Many times that's the issue, big dog, and David, uh, Mr. Dela Cruz. You know what the problem is? That you got to make sure that you tell the doctor what you need them, what you need from them. No, you don't coerce them. You say, Doc, this is what I need. I'm trying to get help. I need you to give me your objective medical opinion, because this is a medical opinion, on whether you think this is related to my service, if you need service connection, or if it is related, you do believe it's related to my service, that how bad it is. That's where we go. Now, if that doctor is not a specialist in that area, have them send you to a specialist. So if it's dealing with your back, a general practitioner, they may not take as serious as somebody that specializes in it. If it's cancer, you may need a doctor that specializes in it and be worth it. Okay? Now, let's see. Big dog, what he say? Okay, true. If you get your medical records from your doctor and take out what the VA needs. Did you hear what Big Dog said? Did you hear what Big Dog said? Get your medical records. This is why when I started being effective, when I started taking out what they need. Let me tell you what I've done before. Now tell me what that's right. That's what it's called, an independent medical opinion. And that's what you write down, that we have an independent medical opinion that says that the veteran this and that and this symptoms, and you put quotes out of it, because you got to understand something. And let's say the VA sends you to a CMP exam anyway. Sometimes you can fight that, but if they send you that it's dated, go. When I go to the doctors, I take a copy. My medical doctor had filled out some information saying that my condition was permanent, and I just don't take a whole bunch of paperwork, about a 1 page or two, and ask the doctor politely, would you be willing to look over this? So, because you don't know if the VA sent them all your records or not. You don't know if they had time to go over everything, because you're talking about a lot of paperwork. So you want to narrow it down, like he said. Okay, independent medical opinion. Because they were trying, I don't know if y'all heard about a couple of months ago, the VA is trying to, because a lot of the lawyers are mad because their veterans are doing things on their own and they helping other veterans on their own. So, and these lawyers are getting mad because they saying, oh, these people ain't certified helping veterans and all this here, that's helping with their claims or hooking them up with, the doctors that they need or whatever. And so they saying that these doctors here, okay, uh, they gonna have to be honest and objective. Well, they ain't no less honest and objective, and they trying to make them. They try to pass a law in Congress where they sign stuff that they stand by what they wrote. Well, they're medical professionals. They ain't no less dishonest than the VA doctors, who always denied. If you ever had to go to a CMP exam at the VA hospital itself, it's usually a bad experience. Now, I want to ask you, Big Dog, do they in the Philippines? I know they got a VA regional office up there. Do they have a VA hospital up there, big dog? And I want to ask you the same thing, Mr. Dela Cruz. In Hawaii, do y'all have a VA um, uh, hospital up there? And that's something I'm curious about. You know, in Houston, Manila. Oh, really? Okay, okay. Now I saw a picture of the regional office over there. Now, big dog, how far is that for you? Do you have do they pay you travel pay to travel there? Okay. And it's a clinic. Okay, that at the embassy. Now that's cool. That's cool. Now look at yes, they have a couple in Okinawa. Okay, okay, okay. Now let me ask you, Mr. Dela Cruz. Oh, they don't pay you no travel pay though. Okay, okay. That's cool. Okay. Are you traveling a big dog? Are you traveling for like when you go into the VA hospital? Is it more than 50 miles? More than 100 miles? Is it a because okay, so now we learning something. Mr. Dela Cruz gets travel pay. Okay. Now let me see. Okay, that's good. They beating us down here in Houston, Mr. David. If you still here, brother, they beating us because they pay us to travel pay not to the VA hospital anymore. Used to get $25 cash. Now they got a way set up to your bank, but now they get to the closest clinic to you. That's how they do it with us. Now it's 2 hour flight at $50. Now, do you have to pay for the flight? You got to pay the 50. Oh man, that ain't cool. I have an appointment next week in Manila. Okay, at the VA. Okay, okay. All right. Wow, man. Wow. This man got to pay for this. That ain't cool. Now, big dog, you ought to, what you ought to do. You ought to you ought to try to schedule most of your appointments in one day, or do you stay for a day? Do you spend? Do they have a place where you lodging close to the VA, or you can sleep at the VA, or you come direct? You come right back home. And Mr. Dela Cruz, when you go down there to your, do you mainly go to the clinic or do you go to the VA hospital? Which one have you found to be more effective in helping you? Because I go most of the time, I don't even go to the hospital anymore. I go mainly to the clinics out here. I live in the Houston area. Hmm. It's a big dog. I stay a week there and hang out and sightsee and visit with my wife's family. Okay, so he got his wife over there. He visit with the wife family. So you make a trip of it. You make a little mini vacation out of it. Now that's good. Now that's good. And I'm is it in do you notice a lot of American veterans there? This is what I want to ask you, big dog, because I know one veteran, he's a Vietnam veteran. He he say he has to come back home twice. He has to come home twice a year. I don't know, and come to a VA over here. I don't know if that has to do with his citizenship or the VA requiring him. Do you have to come back here at least once or twice a year? Let me know what you say on that. Let me answer Mr. Dela Cruz. Now, Mr. Dela Cruz says a clinic brand new about 3 miles away. Tripler, okay, is further away from me. Okay. So that brand new clinic, I'm assuming they opened it up. Have you went there yet, Mr. Dela Cruz? See, all this information is being helpful to me because you got to understand I'm somewhat limited that I live in Texas. Those veterans, that's why I say you are the experts because you live in these areas. And by y'all putting this in the chat, other veterans can get informed on what's going on. Okay, okay. Now let me see. No, that's why I go. to Manila, so I don't have to come back to the US. Oh. Now, do you have a certain amount of times that you go, Mr. Big Dog? Do you go there like twice a year, or you try to, you know, my brother is retired Army, lives in Killeen. What you know about Killeen, Texas, man? Man, all them veterans up there, they got whole veteran neighborhoods up there. I have been to Killeen in about 6 to 8 months. I haven't been up there. All right. Fort Hood, there it is. Killeen, Texas. I got a cousin living up there. Yeah, my cousin, one of my big cousins lived up there. He was in the military, but he worked somewhere outside the base. Him and his wife. Man, Fort Hood. Now, let me ask you this here, big dog. I ain't gonna hold y'all long because I know may be late where y'all at, but I want to ask you this, big dog. When it comes, you married, is it hard to put your spouse on your benefits? Do you have to get married? Is it easy to marry in the United States, or is it easy to marry over there in the Philippines? When it comes to your VA benefits, putting them on as a dependent, is it easy? Is the process harder? Is there any type of, citizenship issues that affects the benefits? If you don't mind letting us know, that would be real helpful, because these are a lot of the questions that veterans have, because many of them want to live abroad. I want to travel. When my daughter finished school, I want to move around a little bit. And Mr. we gonna close out in a few minutes because I ain't gonna hold y'all long. I'm gonna be respectful. We already at an hour. Big dog, keep bringing it. It's hard getting married. Wow, God, dog. Now I'm assuming that's because of citizenship issues, or is it what? Do people? What do you see a lot of people, especially military guys, do? We have a lot of veterans here in the Philippines. Mm, there's a lot of them over there. Now, would you say how many you think are married? Half of them or less than half? So you say it's so hard to get married over there, and why is it so hard? What do you think is what makes it so difficult to get married in the Philippines? Now that's interesting. And Mr. Dela Cruz, if you still here, do you have any plans on moving back to Texas? Or you because I know Hawaii expensive, right? Or you just like the area? Now back to you, big dog. Let me know, Mr. Dela Cruz. Okay, more than half are married. Okay, it's the process of doing the paperwork. Now, I'm assuming, big dog, there's time limits on that paperwork. That you got to be there a certain amount of time, or y'all got to be together a certain amount of time, or is it that you have to be in country a certain amount of time? And I want to know too. Uh, uh, have y'all taken any, uh, Mr. Cruz? If you still there, have you taken any MAC flights or military flights back to the United States? Now, let me see what he got here. Because I'd like to travel over there, but seem like it's expensive. I want to go back home, but my spouse is from here. Oh, okay, okay. I know how that is, brother. I know how that is. Now I want to see. I hear you, Mr. Dela Cruz, on that. Man, man, I know they say it's expensive. It's heck. California, Hawaii, New York, and guess what? The average cost of a house right now is over $400,000 everywhere. That's even in Texas. And you know we usually low on that. Now that's why that tax break is so important. Now let me see what Mr. He say on the flights, Mr. Dela Cruz say, no, I have, but have to look for those flights. No, I have not. Yeah, it's hard to find those flights right now. Since the pandemic, it's been hard to do that. Who? I'm about to answer you, big dog, but Dela Cruz done kind of got me nervous. This man saying houses cost 750,000. My lord, in Hawaii, man, man, that ain't no joke. You tougher than me, brother. Now let me see what Big Dog is saying. I have to show that I've been together for at least 6 months to get married. This Big Dog talking now, and it is not expensive here. Your money goes a long way. Okay, all right. And he told me to come to the Philippines. Man, I'm waiting for my daughter, man, to finish college. She skipped the grade, man. And so she gonna, be doing this. She about to finish her graduate degree. I'm so proud of her. And I want to be able to move around, man. You know what I'm saying? Once I get out of school, she making her paper. I'm gonna be able to move. You trying to get me up there, big dog. You trying to get me up there where I fall in love and then never want to come back home. Oh man. Mr. Dela Cruz say it's crazy. Now let's see what he talking about. David, Mr. David, we got to make it work here now, man. Now, let me see what he said. Now Galena Park, my cousin used to have a house in Galena Park. Now, I don't know if you know Mr. Fagan, Triple J's, my cousin was the owner of Triple J's. He passed. hmm Galena Park is looking a lot better when you see what house costs elsewhere. Yeah. Galena Park. When you're going toward, and I'm assuming Galena Park on that east side. But guess what? That ain't gonna be for long. The price is gonna go up there. See, east side they ain't developed because they got so many refineries over there on that side of Houston. But they come in there too, bro. They come in there too. Ain't nowhere gonna be safe. Over here in Fosher, they got houses a little over 2,000 square feet, 2,300 square feet. They want 900,000 for it. You think I'm playing? Talking about they gave $100,000 reduction, and they'll sell it to you for the very low price of $700,000. Huh? House is smaller than mine. This ain't no joke, man. Now let me see what Big Dog say. Just come and visit for 30 days. I'm gonna do that, Big Dog, but I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do when I come down there. I'm gonna be looking for you because I saw your photos, how you sitting there chilling, enjoying yourself. Oh, Big Dog says 1 p.m. in the Philippines. I forgot the big time difference. What's the time difference? Is it right where you at, Mr. Dela Cruz? Mm-hmm. Oh, Tuesday. 1 p.m. now. Man, I remember when I was stationed in Germany, the big time difference. 1,900 hours. Okay. He's several hours behind. Okay, behind me. I know California is 2 hours behind, but this man, he's several hours. Wow. Okay. Now, let me ask you this here, big dog. What about the food? And David, tell me you know any good soul food places. And over there in Galena Park, they got that what do you call that thing over there? They got that Coast Guard thing over there where you can go to the little Coast Guard exchange and you can get stuff over there too. Ain't much in there, it's just a trailer. But they got different little things that you can get. I forgot what I asked Big Dog. Okay, that's what I'm saying. That the food, yeah. I was talking about David about that soul food. Has he ever went to just oxtails? If he knows some other places or some good seafood places. Now let me ask you about that, Big Dog. Are there some good do they have seafood? Is that something they eat a lot since there's a lot of water in the area? What are the foods that you like eating now? And what the food you like eating now, and what foods do you miss back home? And I'm gonna have one because I'll ask y'all questions all night. So I got one last question for you, for each of you. My question to you, Mr. Dela Cruz, is: Is it cheaper to rent in where you live in the area? I think you say Okinawa, or is it cheaper to buy a home? Because now it's more expensive to rent in Houston than it is to buy a home. Yeah, some places, yeah. It's expensive monthly thing. Now let me see what he got here. Mr. Davis said, I didn't know about the Coast Guard exchange. Yes, right over there on Clinton Drive. Galena Park is mostly Latino now. Okay, yeah, so that's most area. Even Fifth Ward is mostly Latino now. A lot of places. Yeah, I don't know about the soul food places in in Galena Park. Nah, man, it's over in I want to say South Park. Look up just oxtails. If you eat soul food, because ain't too many places that sell the stuff that my family used to make it from scratch. You understand? But there's a lot of good seafood places. Now you're not far from Baytown, and Baytown got pretty good seafood if you like seafood. Now let me see what Big Dog say here. Big Dog talking about, yes, I love seafood. They have it here, also less expensive. Now I want to know what type of seafood they have, Big Dog. I was trying to leave, but you keep reeling me back in. What kind of seafood do they have? Let me ask, do they have crabs? Anything similar to what we have here? I know they have shrimp most likely. Now let me see. Uh-oh, here we go. Remember the Philippines, I think they have been ruled by the Spanish. So he say they pesos. So here we go. Big Dog in the Philippines. My rent here. Oh, I'm hating on you, Big Dog. Did you hear what Big Dog said? This man say his rent is $140 a month. Did you hear that? You know I'm mad at this man. Oh man, Big Dog, why do you have to rub it in like that? Okay. Is this okay? Is this is still around? Yeah, just Oxtails is still around. It's over there by off what's that street? I forget the street it's off of. It's close to 610, but it's in South Park. I went to it about 3 weeks ago. Let me see. Dela Cruz is hard either way. So he's saying ain't no winning. Now listen what this man say. Listen what Mr. Dela Cruz say. It's expensive to rent and to live in a house. 2 bedroom. Okay, $2,000 a month, mortgage about 3 to 4K. So if you're gonna rent an apartment for a 2 bedroom, it's $2,000 a month. Man, mortgage 3 to 4 thousand a month. Now, Mr. Dela Cruz, you gotta tell me, does that include taxes? Please, sir, tell me that include taxes. If not, I'm gonna lose my mind. Oh man, hold on. Big dog say the crab, the shrimp, and the lobster. Now I want to know: do they have blue crab? Do they have king crab, or they got their own type of crab over there? And what kind of fish do they have, big dog? Let me see. I'm smiling all the way to the bank. See, that's why I'm hating on you, big dog. He's saving money. Now, I don't know how far Hawaii is from the Philippines, but y'all both in tropical areas. But you know how it is. You in Hawaii, it's a state in the United States, and they got how many bases there? About 4 or 5 military bases, or is there more? Now let me see what it. Okay. Good night, peace, brother. He's saying good night, and I'm about to say good night to everybody here. David, good night, my brother. Good night. Be safe. I want to see you on my next live stream and watch the videos, brother. Now let me say good night to the brother. Let me read what y'all saying. Now, let's see. Property tax, yes, insurance is different. Okay. I see that. Okay, all kind of fish and different types of lobster. Okay, I like that. About 5 bases. Okay, well, we're gonna say good night. We're gonna try to do the live stream. I try to do it on StreamYard so we could kind of pull y'all up, but I'm just trying to learn it. So I had to come back over to YouTube to live stream. So I want to say, let me see what he said here. I will let you guys get some sleep and I'll go back to the gym. So we're gonna say good night to y'all. Thank you for your time. And y'all have a good night. And I appreciate y'all showing up. And please like, share, and subscribe if you haven't.